Hey guys, today is January the 14th, and today we are starting our College Majors You Never Even Thought Of series. On screen we have Mr. David Hylden, who's a second grade teacher at Ruleville Central Elementary School, and he's here to talk to you about his college major. So, Mr. Hylden, what did you study in college?
I studied cultural anthropology.
And what is cultural anthropology?
We still do not yet know. It's a kind of a newer field in a way, about 100 years old, and it is essentially, well, if we break down the word, anthrop means human, and ology means the study of, and so that means it's the study of human, what it means to be human, kind of, and more specifically, cultures.
Can you elaborate on that? Are there different kinds of anthropology?
There are indeed different kinds of anthropology. If anyone's ever heard of Indiana Jones, he is a type of anthropologist, also known as an archaeologist. Those type of anthropologists and archaeologists are most concerned with humans that have already died, or civilizations that have come before us. That is, as exotic as the Egyptians, or Native Americans here in America, the Natchez Trace and things like that. That's what anthropologists would be studying, or archaeologists, looking through the dirt for stones and arrowheads and at old villages and old texts about peoples who have already come and gone. Cultural anthropology is more concerned with people who are alive today, different cultures, and that could be what most people commonly think of and is on the front cover of many generic cultural anthropology books. Warriors from the Maasai in East Africa, or the Aborigines in Australia, or strange cannibals in Papua New Guinea. But in reality, cultural anthropology really is the study of any kind of culture, and realizing that culture is a very unique and interesting idea, and how people form it and generate it, how people create meaning in their lives. And so lots of cultural anthropologists would study things such as youth in the Mississippi Delta, or bus drivers in Jackson. And people are actually doing things just like that right now, today.
That's really cool. So what kind of things did you study?
Well, I studied some interesting things. I had a very cool opportunity to go to Vietnam and Cambodia to do some work with the people group there. I really enjoyed that experience a lot. Got to see a lot of new things, meet a lot of different people, and talk with different people that I had never met before about how they live their daily lives, the things that they celebrate, the things that they find important to them. You'd be surprised when you go out there and start meeting a lot of people from different cultures, just how much we take for granted, and also the kind of things we think are normal and what everyone would find important, other people don't. And the kind of things we don't find important, they really value a lot. So I got to do that. I also spent some time in a kind of new realm of cultural anthropology, looking at online culture and societies. And for those of you who may have heard of the online virtual world known as Second Life, I did my thesis there on that virtual world, studying how people came, got together, and met on that online virtual world.
This sounds really interesting, but how did you even find out about cultural anthropology?
Well, I didn't actually go seeking it out. I had no idea when I graduated high school that it even existed. I didn't have any idea that it existed when I first got into college. I got accepted to an honors program just because I wanted to apply myself, and I figured the honors program at my community college was the best way to do so. And when I got accepted, they informed me that there were a few courses I would have to take, one of them being cultural anthropology. And I took it, and I just absolutely loved it. I always been interested in people and how they act and why they act the way they do, and how we're all so different. Growing up in Africa, I grew up around a lot of different cultures, including one of different from the one of my parents. So I was always very fascinated by that, and to come to find out that there was a field of study, some courses in college that you could take that basically studied just that, what I'd always been interested in, was really cool for me.
And just one more question. What kind of careers can anthropologists get?
Well, for one, there's the cool career of staying in college and becoming a professor, which you may not think is that interesting, but they get awesome lives. They get to travel all the time, they get their summers off, they have most of their day free to do whatever they want. Well, a lot of them do writing and research, but it's a pretty cool job. Aside from that, there are all sorts of opportunities in advertising or with large corporations. advertising agencies and corporations are very interested in finding people who can understand culture. For instance, say Coca-Cola wanted to come out with a new product, either here in the Mississippi or in China. They would hire people like culture anthropologists to let them know what kind of things they should and shouldn't do to try to get this new product out, to find what people are interested in, to find what makes them tick, so that they can sell their products or help serve them best. So there's those kind of opportunities. And then a lot of governments or not-for-profit organizations, much like the Freedom Project, are interested in people with understandings of culture. For example, the United Nations, or if anyone's ever heard of CARE, they really like a lot of culture anthropologists on staff who can help them be culturally sensitive to their operations in different countries or in different locations of America even, and make sure that they're treating people the best that they can and not causing strife in an unnecessary way. A good example of why a culture anthropologist is necessary is from back in the 70s. Chevy, I'm sure you've all heard of Chevy cars, had spent millions and millions of dollars coming up with an advertising slogan for their new car, the Chevy Nova. And they thought they were going to sell it all over South America, Mexico, Argentina, Chile, that this would be the big hit and they would make millions, if not billions of dollars off this one car. But what no one ever told them was that Nova, or Nova in Spanish, means doesn't go. So when they came over after already spending all this money, they got to South America and tried to sell the doesn't go car, and not surprisingly, no one bought it. If they had had a cultural anthropologist on staff, he or she would have definitely told them, not a good idea, go with another name.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Mr. Hylden. And just, to sign off, can you say the SCFP rocks?
SCFP definitely rocks.
Thank you. Yay!